Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Modern Horizons 3 is once again on the menu today and we're going to try to follow up, spoiler alert, a 7-0 run from our first draft on Wednesday. So what do we have here? Well, we've got Guide of Souls again, and you know, the card was absolutely busted the first time we played with it, so maybe we could play with it again here. Let's see what these other cards are. Path of Annihilation seems sweet too, though. So it's 4 mana to make 2 spawns, and then those spawns just tap. They don't even have to sacrifice for a mana of any color. And then whenever you cast a creature spell mana value 7 or greater, you gain 4 life as well. There's also Indebted Spirit, which I think is pretty good. Got Bestow, and Afterlife makes a flying spirit when it dies. There's Nyxborn Unicorn, which I think is pretty good as well. Scurry of Gremlins. If that wheels with Guide of Souls, we've got ourselves another red-white deck here. That could be pretty darn good. But with as good as Guide of Souls was on Wednesday, I don't think I can pass it here, because the card was absolutely insane. So where do we go from there? Well, the pitch flare cycle is unfortunately not great for limited. Cyclops Superconductor is another energy build around that is a pretty good one, but not in white. Faithful Watchdog is a great reason to be green-white modified. Strength of the Harvest could be a pretty good modal card that we could take here. Fell the Profane is a nice little MDFC removal spell. We've got Drownyard Lurker. And then a bunch of kind of red-black artifact related things. I think I'm going to take the Watchdog here. There's not a great energy follow-up to this. The best would be the Cyclops, but it isn't white. And this card doesn't necessarily need to be in a completely dedicated energy deck. If you've got 3 or 4 cards that make and use energy, this seems like it would be pretty good. So where do we go from here? If we're thinking green-white modified, we've got Temperamental Oozewag. 4 mana 4/4 can adapt itself and give all your modified creatures trample. What is Abstruse Appropriation? So 4 mana, instant, exile a non-land permanent. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend colorless mana as though or mana of any color to cast that spell. That seems pretty good. Is that worth kind of going away from what we're doing as far as the Faithful Watchdog goes? We could be like a black-white deck with Guide of Souls here. I don't think we need Static Prison when we don't know we're dedicated energy. This card did overperform for me. The removal spell there on Wednesday, but that was because I knew I was in a dedicated, like very dedicated high energy deck, and we don't know that that's where we're going to end up yet, so I don't think it's worth taking that this early. Now there is a Riddlegate Gargoyle here, 2 mana 2/2 flyer. When it ETBs you get 3 energy. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2, and when you do, target creature gains a lifelink until end of turn. We could be blue-white energy with Guide of Souls here. There's no black cards in this entire pack, and there's only 1 unplayable green card in this pack. Not unplayable, but pretty darn close to it. I don't think I like Angel of Ruin. The Solstice Zealot is filler, and Charitable Levy is also not really anything. A few red cards. There's some lands here as well, but I think I'm going to take the Riddlegate Gargoyle and go back towards maybe blue-white energy life. Alright, now there's all of the black cards. Kami of Jealous Thirst, Nadir's Nightblade, Foreboding Landscape. There's a Cranial Ram, but that's like the farthest away from what we're doing here. Sage the Unknowable is much more for a blue Eldrazi deck as opposed to a blue energy deck here. I do think Trickster's Elk is actually pretty good. So it's basically a 3 mana 3/3, or it's 2 mana to turn any creature into a 3/3, and when that creature dies, you are left with Trickster's Elk as a 3/3 left on the battlefield. I don't like Hunger Tide Rises, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. Faithful Watchdog, and then putting Trickster's Elk onto your Faithful Watchdog makes it a 6/6, which isn't nothing. So that could be interesting. Alright, we've got Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth. interesting in like a black-white life gain deck, which we do have the appropriation for already. I think it's a little bit too slow there, though. Sink into Stupor, 3 mana, return target spell or non-land permanent to its hand. It's also a land on the back. Lots of black here. There is a Mandibular Kite. Whenever you cast a creature spell, power 5 or greater, discover X. I don't think that's worth it either. Not a great pack here. I'm just going to take the card of the colors that I know we are closest to. And I don't know why there's a Galvanic Discharge here, pick 7. That's interesting. There's also a Serum Visionary if we're thinking blue-white. Presage the Unknowable as well, which, like I said, much more of a blue Eldrazi card here. This is Windswept Heath. There is a fetch land, but much worse in limited than it is in modern. Jolted Awake could be pretty good, but if Galvanic Discharge is still here, that's a signal to me that I'm going to go ahead and take it. Because remember, pick 9, we could wheel that 4-mana Goblin enchantment card, which could be interesting. Alright, Siege Smash, filler. Tamiyo meets the Story Circle. I think we're pretty far away from doing things like that here. We do have a couple of lands we could take if we want to. Like if we're red-white, we could splash Abstruse Appropriation off of a Sheltered Landscape. We could just take Solstice Zealot if we think we're going heavy into energy, which I don't think I am necessarily. The red-white uncommon did not wheel, which means someone else could be in red-white, so I don't know that's where I want to be. Eviscerator's Insight, sack an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards. I don't think I need Gift of the Viper necessarily. I'll take the Insight if we want to go down some sort of like black-white deck here. There isn't a Cursed Marauder now, so 2 mana, 2/1 when it ETBs, each player sacks a non-token creature, so maybe we could find ourselves in kind of a dirty black-white sacrifice kind of deck. This has affinity for artifacts. We could also just be red-black artifacts, potentially. Let's go ahead and take the Refurbished Familiar, and look, there's a Molten Gatekeeper now. So 3 mana, 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it has Unearth. There's also a Dream Drinker Vampire. Maybe we can find ourselves into red-black, although it didn't look like the Cranial Ram wheeled, which would have been nice if we're going to go into red-black. So kind of a messy pack 1. Let's see if we can find some direction here in pack 2. What is our rare? 2 mana, 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile a card from a graveyard. It's 2 mana to adapt to. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on it, put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control. And it has the Act of Treason text on it. Okay, not too bad. There's an Amped Raptor here. That's pretty convincing. Cursed Mirror, I think, is not good. Witch Enchanter, I think, is good. There's the Cranial Ram. We've got the Grim Servant, which 4 mana, 3/2 menace that can kind of draw like a card, maybe draw a land potentially. There's Fetid Gargantua, which is black kind of modified card, but Amped Raptor, Galvanic Discharge, Guide of Souls is kind of good enough to make me want to think that red-white is where we're supposed to be, even though it wasn't super open in the first pack. The draft has been a little strange so far. So 4 mana, 3/3. When you cast it, search your library for a land, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle. That's pretty good. And if it was kicked, you exile a land. That's also very good. But the Discharge and the Raptor kind of made me want to play white. So maybe I could just take the Eerie Auxiliary here. There's no white energy cards necessarily for us. So there's Nyxborn Unicorn, which is good. There's Eerie's Auxiliary, which I think is good. I haven't had a chance to play with this card. I'm going to go ahead and give the Auxiliary a try here. Now there's Reiterating Bolt, 2 mana. deal 3 and you get 3 energy. Well, you don't get 3 energy, but you can pay 3 energy to replicate this, which is pretty good. Glimpse the Impossible. Blood-Soaked Insight is probably a card I would play, I think, even in just straight red-white. I don't know, that's close. Wumpus Aberration. What a name. Distinguished Conjurer. Yeah, Reiterating Bolt is clearly the best card for us here. And now pick 4 Amped Raptor as well as an Inspired Inventor. Both of these would be great for us, but give me another Amped Raptor. I will take it. Nightshade Dryad is good, especially for green big Eldrazi decks. It adds colorless for you. Demon Inferior is a decent blue card in decks that care about that, but let's take a second Amped Raptor here. And we do get the Inspired Inventor anyway. So Royal Cartographer is a way to turn a bunch of energy into a bunch of cards, but much more of a blue-white card. I think we're pretty set on playing red-white energy today, and I know that's kind of upsetting based off of the fact that we've only drafted twice and going to draft red-white twice, but look, you keep passing me the red-white energy cards with a deck that I've already gone 7-0 with. I'm going to take them, and I think it's going to be good. Again, we have a very similar deck. Take the Smelted Charge Bug here. Here's a green energy card. I don't think it's good because you have to splash it, which is a little bit strange. So I guess I'll take a Skoa Ember Mage and hope to not play it. Red, white, splashing, green, maybe? Do we want this or a random Rosecott Knight? We had a Rosecott Knight in our last deck, and it was okay. I mean, we have 5 artifacts. But we're going to cut a lot of these cards too. I'm just going to take the landscape. I don't think I'm going to miss a random Rosecott Knight. So yeah, wield the other one anyway. Expel the Unworthy. I don't think this is a great removal spell. I'm going to take it over the Rosecott Knight, but I'm not thrilled with it. And honestly, I don't really want to play it necessarily. So this is kind of what we're looking right now. Maybe we can find a way to splash this if we're really, really light on removal, but I doubt our deck is going to want to splash necessarily. But everything else here seems okay. Okay. I guess a Mandibular Kite number 2. I don't really want to play 2, but we're not blue-red. I mean, we've got the Guide of Souls, which is probably just the best card in our deck right now, so I hope we can fill this out in pack 3. We do need a good bit of playables out of pack 3 here, but we've got a good start here. Double Amped Raptor, Guide of Souls, Galvanic Discharge, Charge Bug. I think Auxiliary is good. I could play an Insight. I'll see. I'll keep it in the main deck for now. So it's a 7 mana MDFC with a land on the other side that can become cheaper based on the amount of damage that you've dealt to your opponent this turn. I don't think I'm going to start with a Fledgling Dragon in the deck, but I'll take it here. So this is weird because the most signally kind of things we've seen have been in red-white. But I wouldn't say the deck is open. So what do we have here? 3 mana 3/3 Menace. Whenever you sack a non-token permanent, you get a spawn. So basically this is just a 3 mana 3/3 with Menace. What else do we have? 2 mana 2/3 with Outlast 1 modified creatures you control have lifelink. There's also just a Nyxborn Unicorn. +2/+2 and Mentor as a bestow, or a 2 mana 2/2 with Mentor. Could be pretty good with something like Mandibular Kite and even Guide of Souls. It's just 2 mana 2/2 Mentor with bestow or a 3 mana 3/3 Menace is really what we're looking at here. I'm going to take the 2-drop. I think that's going to be better in our deck. Alright, horrible pack here. There's no red cards. I mean, the Superconductor is a red card, but not really one for us. There's Savine's Reclamation. 3 mana, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from the battlefield. If it was cast from a graveyard, you may copy the spell and choose new target. So 5 mana, return 2 things. 3 mana, return 1 thing. Is that better than a Suppression Ray? Probably. I think this card is pretty good. I don't even know what this does, and I'm not going to read it here today. Don't have time for it. So I think I'm going to take the Reclamation over Suppression Ray. I think that might be wrong, though. That's a close one. All right. Got a Galvanic Discharge. That's another good removal spell for us. That will work just fine. I'd even love to wield the Inventor's Axe, but we'll see if that happens or not. Lots of cards here. I think we'll take another removal spell in Fanged Flames. 2 mana, deal 4, exile a creature. We've got a Solstice Zealot we could potentially wheel. And not much else. This Mogmob, I've seen so many of these in the 2 drafts that I've done, and no one takes them. No one can cast this card. So we'll take the Fanged Flames here. There's been a lot of Faithful Watchdogs. Could have had a ton of those. 4 mana, 4/4 Vigilance. Whenever a modified creature you control dies, manifest the top card of your library. So how are we modifying things? Mandibular Kite, Guide of Souls can modify as well. Nyxborn Unicorn modifies. Eerie Auxiliary modifies. This actually could be pretty good as like a little bit of a curve topper 4 mana, 4/4 for us. Basically nothing here. There is a Molten Gatekeeper, but it's not great. I mean, I don't even know if I'd want to play this one. Is there anything green we want to splash? There's a Watchdog, but that's not a great splash. I don't think I need another Sheltering Landscape. I guess I'll take the Gatekeeper here, and... Wow. Could have had, like, 4 Watchdogs or something. Well, all we could play is Infernal Captor out of this pack, so... take it and throw it into the sideboard, I guess. So I kind of got baited with, well, let me take a look here before I say that. So get 3 energy, pay, no, this one's a garbage energy card. So we've got Void Pouncer, it's basically a 2 mana 3/1. We've got another Nyxborn Unicorn and a Wing It. What's our creature count at? 11? I think I'm just going to take the 2-drop over the combat trick here. Hey, the Precursor Wield. I guess that's something I could play. It's not horrible. It's a 3 mana... Gosh, the Watchdogs are still wheeling. So is green-white where we should have been? I'm going to say I got baited a little bit by double Amped Raptor, double Galvanic Discharge here. But that's a pretty good reason to be red, both of those cards. I just don't know if it was worth giving up like 4 different of the green-white uncommon, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and build this. I'll see you after deck building. Alright, here's where I ended up after deck building. This deck is definitely worse than Wednesday's deck in my opinion, but we do still have the Guide of Souls. We've got double Discharge, double Amped Raptor. I mean, we've Inspired Inventor. What's the other energy we have? A Smelted Charge Bug and a Solstice Zealot as like our energy package here. Playing 16 lands plus a tapped mountain that we sometimes could cast as Blood-Soaked Insight if we kind of flood out a little bit and just draw this card and can cast it here. Got a couple of filler cards like Gatekeeper, Precursor. We will be an aggro deck, so these cards aren't too bad. This is going to actually deal a couple of damage probably. Nyxborn Unicorn could be pretty good either way as a 2/2 with Mentor. Could mentor the Charge Bug, could mentor the Guide, could mentor our double Mandibular Kites here. Got a decent removal package with 4 different removal spells and a way to bring back some of our best cards here with Savine's Reclamation. So I think it's definitely worse, but based on how Wednesday's deck went with red-white being as good as it was, I think it's still got a pretty good chance. So that's how I'll run it, and I'll see you in game number 1. Alright, we start on the draw here, and this hand is very slow. Our first play is Solstice Zealot. We have no guarantee of casting these, and Reclamation doesn't do anything. No mountains. I've mulliganed already more this format than I have in, like, any other format. I guess I'll put a mountain. Do I have a double color anything in this deck? I don't think I do. So I guess I'll put back the mountain here. And if nothing changes, I'm just going to play Unicorn on 2 because I don't have anything else. I guess I could Gatekeeper on 3, Unicorn Bestow on 4. Is that... It also depends on what they do here, which was nothing. So... do I play this as a random 2-mana 2/2, or do I try to bestow the Molten Gatekeeper on turn 4 here? Conversely, I could play the Unicorn now, play Gatekeeper, and then on turn 4 kill something and kill another thing, maybe? Yeah, I guess I'll just play this here now. Would be pretty unfortunate if they play like an X3 that I can't really get through, but I guess that's what Reiterating Bolt is for. Alright, well we drew one of the things we can actually modify, or what's it called? Mentor onto here, but let's go ahead and be mana efficient, play the Molten Gatekeeper. Get absolutely savagely crushed here. Like, past our turn, basically, and they get a 2/2 flyer instead. So, watch out for this card. I had forgot about that card existing. That is pretty annoying. Down goes Unicorn, potentially. Do I want to draw it again? I mean, it's not the worst. It can modify our Mandibular Kite here, so... Amped Raptor. Well, I can cast the Nyxborn Unicorn off of the Amped Raptor here. Is that something I'd like to do, though? I kind of want to bestow this, which means I can't cast Amped Raptor right now. The fact that we have the Mandibular Kite and this has Mentor does make that slightly better. So let's do this and then cast the Unicorn here. And then play the Kite and pass. And now we have 2 removal spells for this thing if needed. Now if they play a 5-drop, then we have to hope for a land that we can expel Kicked to kill that. No plays. I don't like that. Well, let's try this first. Which one do I want to use? Because I could save this to kill a bigger creature. This can't kill a bigger creature necessarily, but if I cast this, I can't cast Charge Bug as well. I do want to cast the Charge Bug as well. Let's try this. Let's see what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to do something this turn. I don't know what, but let's see here. See if they have some sort of counter spell. Well, they've got options. Okay. Go to combat, I guess. Alright, I don't know the format well enough to know what sort of common flash creatures there might be that could blow me out here, so I'm just gonna attack. And there's one of them. Hydroelectric Specimen. 3 mana 1/4 flash. Yeah, that's a thing. I could finish it off right now, or I could still do this next turn. I want to get my creature down, or at least try to. Hope they don't have ether or whatever. They still have another instant they can play, though. So, there it is. Down goes the unicorn. This no longer can be mentored onto. But it does have menace, so it's not too bad. 2/1 flyer. Interesting. That means they have something expensive in their hand that is going to be pretty annoying for me. Alright, let's do Gatekeeper and Inventor, I guess. Let's put a counter here. And attack with everything. No need to pay the energy, I don't think. Okay, push a little bit of damage. It's not... I don't think it's enough. What does this do again? So put a counter on something? Alright. I'm worried they have some way to draw three cards here. With this much mana. I mean, I think the Mandibular Kite is our way to victory right now, so as long as they can't kill that artifact, we might be able to have an out here. Okay, so that's a 3/5. That just killed our 3/3 flyer, and then that turns into a 3/2 flyer. Alright. Let's go ahead and bestow this one. No attacks. We can re-equip this next turn. Attack as a 4-powered menace creature that they can't block here. Savine's Reclamation. We can get back a unicorn. Get back an amped raptor with a couple of energy here. But we didn't cast it. Right? So when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Then if you cast it from your hand, which we didn't. But that would let us double up Reiterating Bolt next turn. I think I'd rather just do this first and start bashing with the Charge Bug here. And we're on a 2-turn clock for them. Guide of Souls. Okay. Well, that might work here. They unfortunately do have an instant. Oh no, it's Polluted Delta. That's all they could have. They could have an instant, but polluted delta might be the reason that they're getting priority here. But instead, it is a counterspell, so that's unfortunate for us. Let's go to combat, attack with the charge bug, and I guess I can reclamation back the Guide of Souls now, and that almost secures us the win. Kind of. I mean, we have 2 energy. Next turn, if we draw a land, we can reclamation, get back the raptor. Well, that'll do it anyway, so... If we drew a land, we can get reclamation, get back the raptor, get 2 more energy, attack, give another thing flying, and then have 2 lethal threats there, so... Alright, managed to get through it. Alright, we go first with Guide of Souls into Charge Bug, which is gonna be hard to beat. Because that gives us 3 energy on turn 2, and we could attack with a 3/4 flyer. I don't know if I want to do that necessarily, because this is already a huge target here. But, I mean, if they can't answer it, like, they're just gonna lose. Let's hope they don't have an answer here. Alright, that's good. So now... I'm going to go ahead and discharge here. Pay 2. Play another creature. Attack with both. No need to pay the energy here. And already at 13. Next turn, another creature gives us 3 more energy. So if they can't kill Guide of Souls now, I imagine this is... yeah, not looking great. So let's do this. Attack all. Don't pay. Yes, pay. Give it here. And that's probably game, folks. Unless they've got a board wipe, which they could. There is a board wipe in white here. Sure, that's fine. Alright, well, Guide of Souls. An incredible card if you can play it on turn 1 with any sort of synergistic backup. Alright, starting on the draw, the hand honestly isn't that great, but we do have a tapped mountain on 1. 3-drop, 4-drop is our first play. It's not great, like I said, but I think we've got all colors of mana, so it's going to be difficult to send this one back. I'm not thrilled with our prospects, but... We could potentially get there, but going against blue-green, if they have any sort of ramp here and can get big creatures down before... oh, God, Nadu? Alright. Can I leave that on the battlefield? So when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card if it's a land... put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it into your hand. I'm going to risk it. I mean, it'd be so mana inefficient to do it this way. Play this, not play another creature. Okay, these spawns tap for 2 colorless here. Right? No, they tap for a mana of any color, but not this turn. They can just sack for a colorless. I have a feeling they're about to drop something that I'm not going to be able to deal with here. Like some 7 mana enormous Eldrazi that I can't get past, and that's going to make my life pretty difficult. So Expel the Unworthy is probably going to be saved for that. But Nadu is also really bad, so... Yeah, there's an enormous Eldrazi, so what does this one even do? Whenever a land enters the battlefield, look at the top card. If it's a creature, reveal it into your hand. If you don't put it in your hand, put it in your graveyard. So it was not a creature, but they have a 7/5 now. As well as Nadu. And it's got reach, as if that mattered. Yeah, start getting more things here, more landfall, more drawing of cards. All right, they got us. I'm pretty sure we're just like completely dead at this point. I mean, I can kill Nadu, but like, then I have to deal with the 7/5. None of this is good for me. Sure, draw another card. I don't know why this card was printed. Like, it seems like a mistake. It seems like something... Like an actual factual mistake. So when you cast this, exile a non-land permanent, we are way dead here. Like, if our first play wasn't till turn 3 and then they're ramping and playing stuff like that, we are just so toast. Turn 1 Guide of Souls, turn 2 Amped Raptor. Don't mind if I do. Let's keep this now. And it's going to be difficult to decide if I want to use the 2 energy if I flip a 2-drop. Because conversely, I could just put the counters on the Guide of Souls like I did last game here. Or a 3-drop even. Oh, but I get 3 energy right back. Oh, that is quite the combo. So let's do that. Get 3 energy, get another energy, attack, pay the 3 energy, put it on itself. And this is turn 2, folks. A 3/4 flyer, a 2/1 first strike, and a 2/2 on the battlefield, all on turn 2. Alright, let's see if they can kill the Guide of Souls. What does this do? Amass 3? Okay, that's fine. Let's do this here. This gets us up to 4 energy. We'll attack here. Pay 3. Put it there. Guide of Souls is just unfair. So whenever they draw their 3rd card each turn, they amass 3, is that right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's why I pack one picked one that card. I played with it on Wednesday, but you saw it again. I mean, I can't pass Guide of Souls. It's impossible. Oh, this hand is so close. Man, if we had one of these as a plains, it would be so good. I still think I have to keep it because of the double amped raptors here. But, man, if we had a plains, this would be insane. Yeah, mountain is not at all what I need. Can't cast it, unfortunately, but we do have 2 energy now. Not too bad. Give me a planes off the top now. Then I can Guide of Souls, Amped Raptor, do the whole thing like I did last turn. If I can get a planes off the top now, I think we are still in good shape, but we need it soon. Ah, darn. Oh, gosh. Mountain is the last thing I need. What does this even do? Can't attack or block? Okay. There's the plains, and there's Safine's Reclamation. Oh, this is brutal. Oh, man. Okay. Obstinate Gargoyle. So I can replicate this. Maybe I'll wait for them to play another creature that is worth killing to replicate it with. There's one of them. Gosh, another card I can't cast, unfortunately. Replicate one, right? When you cast a spell, copy it for each time you paid its replicate cost. So yeah, replicate one here. So we'll do that, and then copy it, kill the Obstinate Gargoyle as well. It comes back as a 1/1 flyer. Oh, I did that backwards. Oh, that was so bad. Oh, and it has Modular 3. Oh my gosh, I just like lost that game because of how backwards I did that. So if I had killed the other one first, oh my goodness, that was so bad. Now they have a 5/5 flyer? Okay, I'm just dead. I'm just way dead. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, now you've learned that sequencing matters when it comes to how you kill your opponent's creatures. And now we're dead next turn. I still think we were losing this game. Like, I guess I could have killed that too. Man. All right. Well, that was a wild punt. Usually not something that comes up too often, but yeah, the way that resolved was not the way I meant to do it. Alright, let's try to avoid that sort of punt again with a turn 1 Guide of Souls. Again, give me a 2-drop, please. That would be very, very good. Amped Raptor. Okay. What do you got? Ooh, Cranial Ram for free. Not too bad. There's a 2-drop. I think I'll play it. Next turn I can use Expel the Unworthy and Galvanic Discharge if I want to. And the Discharge will let me attack and have 2 energy left over, which give me 3, which will let the Nyxborn Unicorn attack here as a flyer. So I think this is pretty good. Actually, Amped Raptor seems better now. So let's try that. So I'm going to have 4 energy here. Flip a 1-drop. Yeah, I can do that. And then Galvanic Discharge. Do I need to Galvanic Discharge something? Probably not at the moment. Next turn I've got Eerie Auxiliary to buff my Germ token as another flyer. I could also buff the Amped Raptor because it does have First Strike. And then I guess if they don't play anything else relevant, I can discharge their Amped Raptor so I can attack with this one as well. The Nyxborn Unicorn also has Mentor here. I just remembered that too. So that can mentor this flyer. I mean, I would be shocked if they don't have a removal spell here. The question is, what do you remove? Like, that's why Guide of Souls is so good. It creates an enormous threat that they have to kill. But the Guide of Souls is still on the battlefield if they do choose to kill the Nyxborn Unicorn. And if they don't kill the Unicorn, then it runs away with the game. So, let's see. Instant or sorcery spell, they get to flip a coin and try to copy it. Oh, I don't care about that. Alright, let's go ahead and discharge this, pay 1 energy here. And then now we can do this again with the Guide of Souls. Yeah, this will be quite good. So we'll go here and here. Get another energy. Attack with these 3. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Oh man, attack for, what was that? 12 in the air? And next turn we have 4 flyers? Cross your fingers, no board wipe? Void Pouncer is fine. Okay, so if they lose it, I don't know what happened. Okay, if they flip Ral, it turns into a Planeswalker. Auxiliary down. Deals 2 damage. So it can kill the Guide of Souls and then they just die here. Or they could just +1, which doesn't do anything. So I think we've got it here. Alright. Guide of Souls. What more can I say? Well, hello there, beautiful. We will keep it. Would love to draw either of my 3-drops that give me energy when they enter the battlefield, because then I can attack with the Unicorn and use Guide of Souls here. Just gonna... Let's attack here first. Kind of bluff a combat trick. Looks like we got it in. And then go ahead and just play the Unicorn. Get an energy, and now we're looking for Inspired Inventor or the Tapper would be ideal. This Goa Ember Mage is really sticking out as like not fitting in this deck, but here we are. Reiterating Bolt. Well, I get to expel the Unworthy Tameo and they gain 0 life. I mean, that's pretty good here. Wait, no, they gain 1 life because it's a 1-drop. That's okay. Alright, let's do this. We're not having the busted draws we've had before here. But, I mean, there's not much I can do about that. Replicate 0, try to kill their life gainer and see what happens. I mean, we've learned there is a 1/4 flash creature. We've learned there is a 2/2 flying flash creature. So would I be willing to trade Nyxborn Unicorn for their 2/2 flyer if that is what they have? Yeah, probably so. Alright. All our things are 1/1s now, and they have no other abilities. Well, that was pretty good. Now we're going to struggle here. That was the exact draw we needed without this amphibian downpour ruining our day. Can't cast that, and now that card is gone for good. Alright, let's see if they have the 1/4 flash creature again. At this point, I mean, we just have 1/1s. They're not doing anything else, so... Yeah, they did have the flash creature that could eat our spell, or eat our card, but I mean... Fortunately, this game has not worked out very well. We've gotten Savine's Reclamation gone to get back the Guide of Souls. This has all not been great. Land isn't horrible. Mountain in particularly. So we can play Rosecott Knight and then next turn draw another one. No, not exactly what we want here. Think we might have been outclassed. If we can't kind of get them down into the single-digit life totals by this point of the game, then it's not looking great for us. Yeah, see, they just play a 3/5 that bounces things, you know? Or no, draws 2. So draw 2, discard. Yeah. So you choose one no matter what, and if it was kicked, you choose both. Not too bad. But what are we going to do about a 3/5? Like, I can't attack past that. Not to mention I'm not drawing anything good here. Lands aren't bad, and in the absence of lands, we're drawing our least effective spells. Yep, there's a 7/7. I mean... Don't exactly know what to do. Do I chump with the germ and then re-equip the kite if I miss on a land? Jump the 7/7 next turn with the unicorn. I think our best chance at winning is equipping the raptor here. Chumping the unicorn, taking 5 to 10 next turn. They go to 9. This technically deals 4 to any target. So we put them to 6. Deal them 4. I don't think we can survive that long. Yeah, there's another flyer. So whenever you attack, pay energy, this gains lifelink. Yeah, that'll probably do it. Plus, they can do that over and over and over again here now. Gain 7 life a turn. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So this deck was definitely a lot worse than Wednesday's deck, but Guide of Souls went a long way, and there was a reason I took it first, like I did this time. So, I mean, what can I even do here? Just continue to chump, I guess. Yeah, I have to chump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so that'll do it there. All right, so 4 and 3 with this deck. I still think red-white aggro energy is pretty good here in the format. We just didn't get the best version of it. I don't think the deck was open for our seat, but we got a couple premium cards for the archetype, which carried us to a 4-3 here. I think green-white was the spot to be for this with all the faithful watchdogs and things like that, but we just had some really filler cards that I didn't really want to have to include in a deck like this. Like, all the cards over here are just kind of not great for what I want to be doing. And this is just too many. You know, if I could replace these with any other energy payoff, some of the goblins that we had on Wednesday would have been really, really good to replace these with, but it was just a bit too underpowered for what we were going for. But I'll take a 4-3. It was a fun deck, and whenever I get a chance to play with Guide of Souls, you get some busted starts with that too. So, thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.